folks who've been waiting in line.
Sure.
Matt actually talked to us the other night, I believe on Sunday night. Matt Inglés, try to. How you doing tonight, Matt? Thank you for
Doing.
joining us again.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys thanking me again. Hello, Governor. Hello, Tyrell. My last name is pronounced Ingles, but it's okay.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Me and my family, we've always been, our last name's always been mispronounced. It's kind of funny. But anyways, my main question is to both of you guys, Governor and son Tyrell. What is your thoughts or opinions about semi-national direct democracy, like national referendums, initiatives, recalls that are citizen-led through petitions, signatures?
Well, I'll tell you, Matt, I find sometimes they can be dangerous. And I'll state it from what I remember. When I was in office, Governor Gray Davis got recalled. They elected him, and then halfway through his term, for whatever reason, they got angry with him. So they did a recall election in California.
Yeah.
And the reason I was opposed to that recall, which subsequently elected Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the reason I was opposed to that recall is this. All they had to do to recall the governor was go out to shopping malls and get people to sign petitions.
Yeah.
Well, what says that person even voted in the election?
Right.
Shouldn't the only people who should be allowed to recall an elected official should be people who can prove they voted in the first place? Because if you didn't vote in the first place, then in my opinion, you have no right to recall anyone who was elected because you didn't participate in the system to begin with. So that's the scary thing to me about recall stuff.
Yeah.
Who does the background to make sure the people signing the petitions are not just operatives? And you know it, Matt, as well as I do. Go to any mall and somebody comes up to you with a petition, anybody will sign it. They won't even think about it half the time. You know, we're a nation full of sheep a great deal of the time. And so, to me, in order to recall someone and use that type of power to overturn an election, well, it should be only the people who participated in that election to begin with. It should not be outsiders coming in at that point.
Right. There's I do agree with a good portion of that. There's a now, of course, there is an issue we have in our country with state and local direct democracy. Of course, as you probably know, with big money getting involved, which they could, but the one thing that I really like about national direct democracy in such a large country that we have, especially if we get digital direct democracy.
What? Wait, Matt, back up a second. Define for everybody what is direct democracy.
Direct democracy is it's now there's different types of it. Now there's the Swiss form, there's the UK form. All right, well, but to get to
No. Come on, Matt. You're getting me confused now, Matt. I asked you an easy. What the hell is direct democracy?
Direct democracy is when we vote directly on the issues.
Well, then you don't. That means you don't have a representative form of government anymore, correct?
Well, depends on the style.
Because there would be no reason to have. See, we have where we elect representatives to represent us. If you have a direct democracy, well, then it's just majority rules. It's really just that simple.
There's a semi-direct democracy where you still have representatives, but you also have a forward branch of government called the people, where we're able to have a referendum, which is when you change a law.
Okay.
Initiative.
Okay. All right. Let me get this straight now. So it's very much like capitalism and socialism, where you need a certain level of both in which to make a society function correctly, which is what I believe. You need a certain amount of capitalism, a certain amount of socialism, and the key is finding that balance.
Exactly.
And if you find that balance, then you move forward and everyone's life is better. And I fully agree with that. And so I can somewhat see what you're talking about there, but how do you get to the correct balance? I guess that's the key here, isn't it? How
Yes,
do you
yes,
balance
a lot of
between
checks and balances.
who you elect, well, who you elect to represent you, and what do you vote on that doesn't require those elected officials?
That's very true. Now my idea, and now I'm just a nobody, like, which is fine. I'm fine with
No,
that.
you're not. You're Matt, and you're on my show. I don't have no nobodies.
Cool, cool. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much, Governor. Thank you so much for those words. Well, anyways, like my idea is to have a lot of checks and balances where, like, suppose a simple majority referendum or citizen initiative gets passed between 51% to 59%, those could still be vetoed. Those could still be repealed. Those could still be struck down by the legislature, by the courts, and by the executive branch, like you were, governor. And but if it's over 60% plus 60% of Congress of whatever whatever state, local, federal, then that becomes a constitutional amendment, which only another one will take to repeal that one. That's my approach.
Well, and that's a logical approach. It's a good approach. Like I said, it allows the people, but then again, you have to understand too, you need an engaged public to do that.
Yeah.
And when you look at the people of the United States of America, I mean, I was so proud of the fact that the voter turnout was so tremendous this last election. It made me feel great that many people would go out during a pandemic
Yeah.
to vote like they did. And the reason being is because it was the election was the closest thing to a WWE event I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And so it became very popular to participate and vote. I
Right.
just hope it continues and I'm saying that a bit sarcastically because I always laugh because Minnesota always leads the nation in voter turnout per capita.
Nice. Very
You-
nice.
Usually with Maine a close second, because Angus King and I, when we were both governors, we'd always have a bet between us, between the two, of who would have the highest voter turnout. And I'd always edge Angus, so Angus would have to wear like a University of Minnesota hockey jersey for
yeah.
a day
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
Nice.
And
Oh,
but it still troubles me, Matt,
Yeah.
that they consider a 50% or 60% vote out good. Give me a break. We should be getting a 90% vote turnout.
Yes.
What's the matter with people?
Right. And because I'm part of all right. I know I'm sure you get this question a lot. All right. I'll just jump to it. If would you be willing to advocate for this system of semi-direct democracy with a lot of checks and balances that I just described? Would you willing to be? I mean, are you interested in, like, advocating for it? And I have to ask this because I got a lot of friends that want to ask you this question. If we get a system like that with a fourth branch of government called the people, would you want to run for president if we get that in place?
No.
Okay. Thank you for your
And
honesty.
I'm saying it because what you're going to attempt to do will take the majority. I'm 70 years old. I won't live to see the day.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, and I'm saying that because government moves at a snail's pace unless you do something like Trump attempted, a coup d'etat.
Right.
If you're going that route, well, yeah, then government can move swiftly.
Yeah.
But anything else in government, it's going to move at a snail's pace. And for you to get government to adhere, you'd have to change things in the Constitution. You'd have to go through all of that stuff. I guarantee you, Matt, unless Jesse Ventura is going to live to over 100, he ain't going to be here to see it.
And my final. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. What's your thoughts about a general strike?
A what?
General strike, where, like, retail and fast food workers walk out and demand better wages, better benefits, and a standard.
Hey,
Yeah.
good. Hey, that's their right. Good for them. If they can do it and it doesn't destroy them financially, hey, power's always with the people. But let's remember, they've destroyed the unions. And remember this, unions can also become too powerful. But remember this, it's the unions that built the middle class. And so if people want to go out on strike, I don't say nothing against that. That's the American way, man.
Yeah. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you
Sure.
for inviting me again. And this was awesome. I really do appreciate this a lot.
Okay, no problem, Matt. We
I
kind of
think- I
got
think-
off the beaten path, Ty, a little bit from the Afghan war, and still trying to figure out what in the hell we accomplished over there.
Well, I think you brought up some really interesting things, and I think my opinion, I would love to see more general strikes in this. The only when you're dealing that controls our political, and the only place you can strike them is through general strikes and through the money flow. Because we have to remember is that at the end of the day, we are the workers. We're the ones who keep the economy going. Every job that you're in is what keeps this economy going. And so you do have a lot of power. And I think a lot of times in this country, they try to make people feel like you're powerless because, here's the top few that kind of run everything, the top 1%. We've heard that thrown around a lot. But I think at the end of the day, we forget that, us masses, us people, we're the ones who put money in the bank
Hey,
accounts.
Ty.
We're the ones who provide that way.
Hey, Ty, you want to know a positive that came out of this pandemic? And you're seeing it right now? The positive out of this pandemic is it showed all the people that got the money, they couldn't survive without the knuckle draggers down on the ground.
That's very true. That's very
Oh,
true.
yeah. That's a positive that came out of this pandemic. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing happening in the workforce right now, where I just did a story on my TV show on RT talking about how Walmart and Target now are offering free college for all their employees and all this stuff. They're coming with these packs of benefits and all this, but like I said, what will the benefit translate to? Fine, they educate their people, they send them all to college. Well, when they got their degree, does that mean they then come back and they get paid accordingly so that as most Walmart employees and many of the Target employees don't have to seek government subsidies to survive?
That's a great
You
question.
know,
That's a
and
really
and,
great.
and that'll be if that happens, that'll be phenomenal. I'll say the private sector's coming through in spades for us. But I want to see, does them offering these freebies to get their people and all that, will it translate into actual more money being received and earning a living? Because that, what got me is Walmart. Half of the people who work for Walmart are government subsidized on the side because they can't earn a living that allows them to be free of government subsidy.
And that's how Walmart makes all that money. That's how the Walton family continues to be one of the richest families in America, because they get the government to pay what they should be paying their employees at the end of the day. They should be paying their employees a livable wage and not, there should be no company the size of Walmart out there that has their employees being subsidized by the government because they don't earn enough money. That's absolutely insane.
Well,
But
you'd
that is the world we
like
live
to
in.
think it shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. And so, see the programs that we covered on that of them sending them to college. That's wonderful. If they, that's a great benefit. Shoot, if your employer's going to pay for your kids to go to school or you to go to school or whatever it is, however it's going to work out that way. But is that going to translate into more money for you? Now, logically, it says yes, because college degreed people generally make more money, but will they make it with the company that sent them there, or will they have to go out and seek other employment from a different company and then thank Walmart or Target for educating them so they can move on, which then it doesn't seem it'll benefit Walmart and Target that much, will it? I don't know. Anyway, get somebody else in the office.